What is poppin', YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney. Appreciate all you guys for tuning into my channel today. Or you can just call me Juice as well. That is my nickname. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you're rocking with your boy. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly, almost every single day if I can. Turn on post notifications too, so you don't miss a single video. It's only right, guys. Alright. We're previewing and breaking down the Miami Dolphins in 2019-2020. I will look on their schedule and try to see where I can find some wins and losses for the Dolphins in 2019-2020. I'll go game by game. Like I said, we'll see if the Dolphins can improve on what they did last year or if they will not improve. So let's see. They're an interesting team because last year you won 7 games with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback, okay? And to me, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen are more talented than Ryan Tannehill. To me, Ryan Tannehill is not very good. He's not very good. He hit a ceiling. He's not very good. He just isn't, okay? I don't know how they made the playoffs a couple years ago with Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback, but again, just not in my opinion, he's not very good. So, you did some good things with him, but again, look, Adam Gase, obviously, who's a pretty solid offensive mind in my opinion. I think Adam Gase is a pretty good head coach. He's gone now. So now you're bringing Brian Flores, okay? Now, to me, I think Brian Flores is a decent head coach. Okay, he's a former scouting director for the Patriots. He was the Patriots defensive coordinator, the same guy that held the Rams, to 3 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, excellent job by Brian Flores in that regard. I don't think he'll be a very good head coach this first year. Just spoiler alert, okay? But either way, I think Brian Flores for the future is a pretty good guy. Obviously, he's been a former scout. He knows how to scout players. He knows how to identify talent. So I do think he can work in the NFL. Some positives for this Dolphins team. Okay, Kenyon Drake, a pretty underrated running back, pretty solid player. I do think he needed to get more touches last year, but again, for whatever reason, he just wasn't getting the touches he needed. And then Josh Rosen. Okay, now look, like I said, Ryan Tannehill. Whether you think Ryan Tannehill was better than Josh Rosen was last year, you weren't going to get any better than you were with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill had peaked, okay? Ryan Tannehill was about to enter his 30s. I believe he's 30 now. And he's not going to get any better. He is what he is. Ryan Tannehill is not going to get any better going anywhere, okay? Unless he's on the Patriots, okay? So, at least you started over at least with Josh Rosen. And again, you brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick too to potentially compete for the job. Obviously, Ryan Patrick not the long-term future quarterback. The guy's pretty old, okay? But, you got 2 stable quarterbacks, okay? And again, for me, Josh Rosen, I was not personally very high on Josh Rosen coming out of college. I'm still not very high on him. But it's hard for me to get a good read on what Josh Rosen can be. Because in Arizona, the team was so bad last year, it's hard to get a good gauge on Josh Rosen. Now, again, Josh Rosen did not play very well last year either. He was late on some throws. He had some timing issues. He was not very accurate. He didn't deal with pressure very well. But again, he was not set up to succeed at all. The Cardinals' offensive line was terrible. Their wide receivers were not very good last year. Tight end, not very good. Defense, a little bit suspect. So again, Josh Rosen was not really, he didn't play very well last year, but again, as a rookie, he was not set up to succeed, okay? So again, maybe a new start in Miami is what he needs, okay? And then you got Devontae Parker, a pretty decent wide receiver. Kenny Stills is a solid player too. Mike Gesicki, I like him a lot. I thought I was pretty high on him out of college. Maybe he could potentially develop into a star tight end. We shall see. So again, you got decent weapons, and then again, I think the strength of your team, as far as your defense goes, is your secondary. You got Xavier Howard, a very underrated cornerback. He's an excellent cornerback. Be sure to hold on to him because he's going to be a star in the coming, okay? Minkah Fitzpatrick, a pretty underrated safety in my opinion. So you got a pretty underrated secondary. What are the negatives for your team? Okay, the negatives, okay? In my opinion, the Dolphins have one of the worst pass rushing units in the National Football League. They just do. You don't have very many good pass rushers, okay? Obviously, Cameron Wake and Robert Quinn are now gone, okay? So now you don't have them anymore. Who do you have? I'm gonna tell you right now, you have nobody, okay? You don't have anybody. So in the draft, obviously, look, you had a pretty decent draft. Christian Wilkins out of Clemson, a pretty solid D tackle. I like him. I think he's gonna do some good things. Michael Dieter, pretty solid offensive lineman out of Wisconsin. Andrew Van Ginkel, pretty decent linebacker. And Isaiah Prince, who I saw at Ohio State play because I'm an Ohio State fan, he's a pretty underrated pick as well, especially where you got him in the draft. So again, the Dolphins had a decent draft. I do think they found about 3 or 4, maybe 5 starters right there alone. Okay, so again, let's just jump right into the schedule and see if the Dolphins potentially are a better football team or a worse football team this coming year. Okay, so let's see. Let's look right here. Ravens at home, at Patriots at home, at Cowboys, Chargers at home. Okay, I see a 1-3 start to the season. Rough start. Okay, the Ravens, they're a good team. You'll lose that game. Patriots, you'll actually beat the Patriots. I think you'll beat the Patriots. Cowboys on the road, loss. Chargers at home, loss. I'll explain myself. Look, the Ravens, I do think Lamar Jackson regresses this year, but again, like I just mentioned, you have no pass rush, okay? Lamar Jackson will just run all over your defense. Now again, you have a decent secondary, okay? Maybe you can make some things happen in that regard, but again, I think Lamar Jackson's going to make enough plays in this game to win. The Ravens obviously did make the playoffs a year ago. They're a pretty solid team. They're just a better team than you. You'll lose that game. But then the Patriots come to town. I think this is a loss for the Patriots. Brian Flores knows the ins and outs of the Patriots organization. You saw last year, the Patriots lost to the Detroit Lions. You want to know why? Because Matt Patricia was on the other side as the head coach. He was in that Patriots locker room. So again, Brian Flores knows how to beat. He's probably going to know how to beat teams like the Patriots because he's been in the Patriots organization. Obviously, playing at Miami is a tough place to play in itself because of that heat. Tom Brady and the Patriots obviously did lose there last year. Again, I have you upsetting the Patriots at the Cowboys, though, and the Chargers at home. Those are 2 losses. Those are 2 Super Bowl contending teams. I just don't think you have the firepower on offense or defense to beat either of them, whether Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh Rosen are starting. Okay, bye week, okay, next, okay. Then you got the Redskins at the Bills, Steelers in Pittsburgh. You got to travel at Pittsburgh. Okay, you're going to play that game at Pittsburgh. And then you play the Jets at home. I only see 1 win. I only see 1 win in that stretch of games, okay? You'll beat the Jets, okay, but other than that, you're going to lose these games, okay? Look, the Redskins. Now, I struggle with this game. I struggle with the Redskins game, okay? Again, I just think Dwayne Haskins is going to be a decent quarterback. I think he'll probably be starting at this point. I think the Redskins actually have a decent roster. The Redskins roster is better than the Dolphins roster to me. Defensive line, the Redskins have a pretty good defensive line. Deron Payne, you got Montez Sweat now, who you added in the draft. Okay, you got Jonathan Allen, you got Ryan Kerrigan, Josh Norman, a pretty good defensive back, one of the better cornerbacks in all football, Josh Norman. Jordan Reed, pretty good tight end. They did draft 2 young wide receivers, who I like a lot. And Kelvin Harmon and what's his name? It's slipping my head. Terry McLaurin. Yeah, Terry McLaurin. So yeah, I like what the Redskins did in the draft. I just think they're a better team. It's in Miami. You could win the game, but again, I just don't see it. At the Bills, that's a loss. The Bills, to me, are an underrated team. They retooled their entire offensive line in the offseason. So again, their offensive line is going to be decent. I like Josh Allen. Josh Allen was able to actually win games last year with a terrible offensive supporting cast. He was 5-6 as a starter with hardly no weapons at wide receiver. They added to their wide receiver core in the offseason and through the draft, okay? And they drafted Ed Oliver, and they have some very good players. So again, at the Bills, I think that's a loss. At the Steelers, they're a better team than you. I think the Steelers respond this year in a big way. Big Ben Roethlisberger, I think he's motivated. He finally got rid of the radio station in which he bashed his teammates, okay, weekly. He's not doing that radio station anymore. Coming off a year where he led the league in interceptions, I do think he'll be more focused this year. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got James Conner, a very good offensive line, a pretty underrated defense too. I think you'll lose at Pittsburgh, but I think you'll beat the Jets. Look, you beat the Jets last year. Sam Darnold struggled mightily versus you guys. Again, could Adam Gase beat you guys because he knows the ins and outs of your team? Maybe. But again, you get the Jets at home. I think you'll win that game. So the next couple games, at the Colts, Bills at home, at the Browns, and then Eagles at home. Only 1 win in that stretch of games I see. Look, the Colts, they're a Super Bowl contender to me. Okay, they're a Super Bowl contender. They're a better team than they were last year, and they made the playoffs last year. Andrew Luck, elite quarterback. Wide receivers, elite group of wide receivers. T.Y. Hilton, Devin Funchess, Paris Campbell, a very good player out of Ohio State who they added. Eric Ebron, a very good tight end. The best offensive line in football. You have no pass rush. Andrew Luck's going to do whatever he wants versus your defense. The Colts have a very good uprising, ascending defense. I have them beating you in Indianapolis. I think you're good enough to split with the Bills this year. Again, I just raved about how good the Bills improved this offseason, but again, I'm not super high on the Bills. I just think they'll improve. I think you're good enough to beat them in Miami. At the Cleveland Browns, that's a loss. Baker Mayfield, I love him a lot. I think he's going to be one of the next great stars in the National Football League. They have OBJ. They got Jarvis Landry. They got Myles Garrett, a very good ascending young pass rusher. Olivier Vernon is a very good pass rusher too. Sheldon Richardson. Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams. You get the point. Cleveland is a more talented team. They're a better team than you. They'll win that game. And then Philadelphia at home. You could potentially beat the Philadelphia Eagles because you played them at home. But again, to me, Philadelphia is the most talented team in all of football. That should tell you enough about that game. All right. At the Jets, at the Giants, Bengals at home, at the Patriots. I see 3 losses and only 1 win. At the Jets, again, I think you split with the Jets this year. The Jets, they improved their team enough to me where I can say they split with you guys. They added Le'Veon Bell. They added Quentin Williams in the draft. They added Jamison Crowder. They added to their offensive line. Sam Darnold in year 2 with a better head coach should definitely improve. I think you'll lose at the Jets. At the Giants, I think that's a loss. They might be starting Daniel Jones at this point. I'm not high on Daniel Jones, but again, he might be better than Eli Manning. They have a ascending young secondary in New York. Okay, I like their cornerbacks. They drafted DeAndre Baker. They got Janoris Jenkins. Okay, they got Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in all of football. They added Dexter Lawrence, a defensive tackle out of Clemson, to their football team. The offensive line is not great, but it's improved. Okay. I just think the fact that it's at New York is what bothers me. I think you'll lose at the Giants. Bengals at home, you'll win that game. Look, Andy Dalton and this Bengals team, they're done for. I think the Bengals are in for a rough year. I'm not a believer in the Bengals. Their defense sucks. Their offensive line sucks. Their quarterback, Andy Dalton, yes, he sucks too. AJ Green's always hurt. Tyler Eifert always hurt. Boyd's a decent wide receiver. John Ross is a bust. You'll win that game. Then at the Patriots, don't even think about beating the Patriots twice in the same season. There's no way the Patriots are getting swept by the Dolphins this year. You'll lose that game. So in conclusion, I have you going 4-12. Look, I'm just not a believer in Josh Rosen. I'm not a believer in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not a believer in your defense. I'm not a believer in this schedule. Again, I could see maybe 7, maybe 6 wins, maybe 5 wins, but again, I'm going with 4. I'm just not a believer in this team. I like Devontae Parker, but that's pretty much it. Kenyon Drake's decent, but again, this offensive line is not very good to me. Again, Josh Rosen, Ryan Fitzpatrick is your quarterback. You're at a disadvantage pretty much every single week. Now, again, this team's making some strides. I like your draft. I think Christian Wilkins is a good player. But again, not a believer in this team. The division's better. The Bills will be better. The Patriots are going to be the Patriots. Okay, the Jets are better. You're the 4th most talented team in your own division. Okay, so again, I just don't see it with this Miami team. You have some solid players in your secondary, but again, no pass rush. Not a very good offensive line. Running back decent, wide receivers decent, quarterback terrible. Okay, so as a result, a 4-12 season for the Miami Dolphins in 2019-2020. That's a wrap for this video. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you're rocking with your boys. Subscribe to this channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. Turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. I appreciate all you guys that watch my channel and that love my videos. I want to become a great sports analyst when I get older and out in the world myself. I want to become one of the next great sports analysts, okay? I appreciate all you guys. The best thing you guys can do to help this channel grow and to help me achieve my dreams of becoming one of the next Stephen A. Smiths or Colin Cowherds, because that's what I want to do. I want to become a sports broadcaster. I want to become a sports analyst. The best thing you guys can do to help this channel grow is to share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Snapchat, all that good stuff. Tell all your friends about this channel. Get people hit to this channel and subscribed and watching my videos. I love my content. I love you guys. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today, and I'm out.